Good morning. It is Sunday, September 29th, and we're just going to do a drive along. We're right now on Bloor and Sherborne, and we're going to go past Kensington Market. So we'll take Yonge, and then we'll go on to Dundas, finally Kensington Market, ending on College Street. So let's go. Now it's 7:36 a.m. So we're gonna actually turn right on Church Street in order to access Yonge, because we cannot make a left turn from Bloor Street onto Yonge. It's such a busy intersection. Driving in the morning because it's not much traffic and not much people. It's an easier drive. So along the way I'll just bring up points of interest here. As you can see here on the right, building another condo. So much construction always going on, more condos and everything. I think they need to build more affordable housing because most of these condos are quite expensive. I believe as of right now, there's a lot of condos that are not being occupied. They're investor held. So we're coming up on Yonge Street here. Masonic Temple right in front of us. Was actually a really big concert venue. To the right here, that is part of Yorkville, one of the richest area. Very amazing restaurants as well. And so up ahead here we have the corner of Bloor and Yonge. One of the most busiest corners here. Two of the tallest buildings in Toronto, in Canada as well. One Bloor East, and the one on the right I believe is just called One Bloor. It's still being built, and it's going to be bigger than the One Bloor East one on your left. Now, there was going to be a flagship Apple store at the corner here at the bottom, but that looks like it fell through, so I don't know what they're going to do for the retail space. This is also one of the only two crosswalks here that we call the scramble, so people can walk diagonally. kind of like the scramble in Shibuya in Japan, but not as big, not as grand. So we're headed south on Yonge Street. Still pretty gritty, but that's what gives it Yonge Street. It's culture, I would say. Lots of interesting stores. There is several theaters, musical theaters. One coming up on your left, I think it used to be called the Panasonic Theater, but now I believe it's CAA Theater. Most of the theaters here are owned by excuse me, the Mervish family. So yes, it's the CAA Theater now, but it used to be the Panasonic. So you can see it's the buildings are a mix of old and new. One on the left here with the red sculpture, that's very, very new. Now during pandemic, a lot of the stores were vacant. It's kind of pretty sad, but that was all over the city. But now it looks like a lot of the stores have filled up, which is great. So I would say Yonge Street is one of the most important streets in Toronto in terms of culture and retail and commerce. It's also where the Eaton Center is. We'll see that in a bit. And the biggest mall in Toronto. And it's part of something we call the Path Network. It's an underground connection between different huge buildings in Toronto. There's retail space at the bottom there, and that's the biggest shopping complex in the world. You can get pretty lost there pretty quickly, but it's like a maze, and it's good to go on an adventure, especially on the winter months as well. Now, it's not as busy as before the pandemic, because obviously everyone is trying to work from home nowadays. So on the right here, this is called College Park, but it used to be the first ever Eaton Center. Eaton's being the famous retail family in all of Canada. Sadly, it's all gone there, and it's just the memory. But the Eaton Center name still lives on. In the Eaton Center. So the building we just passed with the IKEA, that is still, I believe, the tallest residential building in Toronto, in Canada. In the bottom of that building, there's also a shopping complex. It's pretty sad though, because it's all very empty. Kind of reminds me of the shops of Pacific Mall. Now to the left, we just passed the student center for the university, TMU, Toronto Metropolitan University. And right now we're coming to Yonge-Dundas Square. I would say one of the hearts of Toronto, that, and the other one being Nathan Phillips Square. To the right is Eaton Center. I was going to make a left to that street we just passed by, but it looks like it's closed off. So, to the left here, Ed Mervish Theater just passed by. It used to be called the Pantages Theater. One of the theaters where musicals are held. But before, that's where the Phantom of the Opera mostly played. So we're turning left on Shooter Street here. See the famous Macy Hall, where it's a concert venue. The acoustics apparently are amazing. I've never been, but I've heard many great things about it. And it underwent renovation just a few years ago. So apparently it's really nice. One day I'm going to go. So turning left, Victoria Street, I think it is. So Pantages Hotel. So it kind of kept its name for these buildings. Here's the back of the Ed Mirvish Theatre. On the right here, you'll see the Senator Restaurant. It's great for jazz music. It's very famous for that. Food is pretty good. I went once in my life, many years ago. To the left, this is part of Yonge-Dundas Square. Many free concerts happen here, cultural events. Up ahead, I forgot what they call this now, but it's lots of nice restaurants, movie theater as well. This is where you can find Little Canada. It's where they have miniaturized cities of Canada. I've never been yet, but one day I think I will. So again, to the left is Eaton Center. To the right, you'll see Rogers Communications flagship retail store. Been there once 5 years ago when it first opened. This Rogers store. It's supposed to be all the high-tech stuff that they want to present. Normally their stores are smaller. So yep, forgot to mention this is another scramble here, so people can cross diagonally as well. Up ahead there used to be another scramble. It's Bay and Dundas, but they actually took that out. I guess it wasn't as busy here. So we're on Dundas Street, one of the subway lines here. See the subway that we're just passing by. And this area, I guess they call it Little Japan. But in this whole area, used to be called the Ward. It was like a big, huge, people could say it's like a slum. All the, I guess, poor people, immigrants, they lived here. But a lot of it has been taken away. It used to actually be also a big, huge Chinatown as well. But they all tore down to far left there. That's where Nathan Phillips Square is in the new City Hall. So a lot of the ward was torn down for the new City Hall. They call it New City Hall, but that's opened up in the 60s, so not quite new, but it's still pretty impressive. Still looks futuristic. On this street we're passing by, it is University. It's one of the main thoroughfares. Going to the right, it goes to the Ontario Parliament buildings. To the left, it goes down to part of the entertainment district, where you can find Rogers Center, also Scotiabank Center. So where the Blue Jays, Toronto Blue Jays, and the Raptors and Maple Leafs play respectively there for those venues. Right on this street, McCall, you'll see in front of you the Art Gallery of Ontario. To the left on this street, there's also the Ontario OCAD. That was a College of Arts and Design. It's an art school, a huge one in Toronto. So Art Gallery of Ontario, that's mostly art and paintings. Haven't been in a few years. It's a pretty nice. So coming up here, you'll see all the signs here for Chinatown. It's remnants of the big, huge Chinatown when the war existed here. There's actually two Chinatowns in Toronto. This one and then one that's further east. But this is the biggest one here. So right now we're headed west. Once we hit Spadina, if you go south and north, so that's an extension of Chinatown. There's two malls in Chinatown, Dragon City Mall, that's right on your left. And then there's another one, I believe it is two further south. You won't be able to see it from here. To the left there is Pho Pasteur. It's 24-hour Vietnamese restaurant. It's really good. The area itself, it's kind of sketchy. I had my car window smashed here before. Right now we're turning into Augusta. This is part of Kensington Market. It's like, I would consider this the cultural heart of Toronto. It used to be a big Jewish neighborhood, homes and stores as well. Lots of fruits, meat, those types of stores. Now it's a big area for specialized restaurants, like hipster restaurants and everything. A lot of people come here, but there's a lot of amazing food, amazing restaurants. It's kind of a little bit sketchy as well, but it's very exciting here, I'd say. So many cool stores, interesting people. It's very vibrant at night, and it's also very multicultural. I think it best represents Toronto with all the cultures, all the food and everything. Interesting, interesting stores. And now I think it's the last Sunday of every month that they close it off. They call it Pedestrian Sundays. Last month of every month in the summer months. And come to think of it, today is the last Sunday of September. So I guess I came at the right time because the street is still open for cars, but I guess later on they're going to close it off. On the left here there is community services. So I guess people come here to get food and everything. Some hostels here for people traveling and wanting to stay at places. Alright, so now we're at college, so that's the end of Kensington. Well, thank you for coming along. Happy to actually show you part of Toronto. And until the next trip, I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.